Luke Thomas from the Luke Thomas Show. TMZ slash.
Scandal gossip column.
World star hip hop aficionado, cell phone photographer joins us. Luke Thomas, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you. You can catch my work at bellend.wanker. All of it's up there.
We don't use that kind of language on this show, Luke, so please refrain from using any kind of profanity.
I'll try. I gotta say, man, I don't know how Michael Bisping does it. These beefs are exhausting. I don't have the cardio for it, man. He can keep this up with quite the passion.
It's crazy.
Hey, it's easy to me. It comes to second nature. You've either got it or you haven't, Luke. Kind of like skills on the mic. You've either got it or you haven't. Now, I will give you the forum. I will give you the floor. Your opportunity to grovel your way out of this faux pas that you did last week. Please explain the what was going through your mind when you thought, I will betray the circle of trust to my fellow brother from Sirius. We're having drinks. He's having a debate with Eddie Bravo. I'm going to take a picture and tweet it out to the world and exaggerate what was there. Please, go for it. The floor is yours.
Well, I mostly addressed this on my show. I was packing up all my things, and my phone starts blowing up, and everyone's tweeting me to be like, Michael Bisping is killing you on the air again, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what have I done? Look, man, I'll say the same thing I said yesterday. I'm sorry. You're right. Shouldn't have done it. There's a professional capacity there. I don't think the world ended, in fairness to me. And I will contend that there is enough evidence to suggest it was an argument. But I think the core argument that, look, there's a professional kind of relationship here that should have been acknowledged. On that grounds, I have no argument, except to say, Michael Bisping, you are correct. This one and only time, but you are definitely correct.
So it's not a one and only time. It's actually a frequent occurrence. But that aside, we came up with the idea that words and talk is cheap. And for you to demonstrate your sorrow, you should actually shave off your beard. I mean, how sorry are you, Luke? Are you willing to shave off your beard?
I'd rather get shot in the face with liquid AIDS than shave my beard.
Yeah. Well, so you're not sorry.
Well, I am truly.
The beard will grow back, Luke. The beard will grow back.
Yeah, Luke, you don't want to have this beef going on with Michael Bisping because there's going to be a time at one point where contract negotiations at SiriusXM come to fruition. And maybe, I don't know if you ever saw Private Parts with Howard Stern and Don Imus, but I feel like there's some sort of radio beef brewing here, and you don't want to have SiriusXM choose between you and Michael Bisping. I've seen this happen before.
No, I certainly don't. I don't want to be put in that position, but when that day comes, I have to stand ready to defend my hirsute face. My beard is the only thing I have in this world, Michael Bisping. You cannot take that away from me.
Okay. Well, for the sake of brotherhood, I will let you keep the beard. I will accept your apology. But this is your first and last warning, Mr. Thomas. First and last. Heed my words.
All right. And here's the funny part about this. It's like I only have been on Instagram. I have 5 photos on Instagram. I don't even use it. I barely take pictures on Twitter. It's like the one time I take a picture, the world gets set on fire. I guess that's a lesson. I should be even more judicious about it.
It's all good. It's in the past. I don't care. But it just pissed me off because at the time, I'm not pissed off now, because there was a storyline at the weekend because we all had a few drinks at the MMA Awards and it got a bit out of hand.
Yep.
And as everybody knows, well, if you're like me, as a lot of guys are, once you get drunk, you start making bad decisions. And you drink more booze. And then you make more bad decisions, And then you wake up the next day and you're late for a press conference and you're using profanity. And you're not giving the best representation of yourself. And GSP's throwing you under the bus for saying, oh, you're drunk, Michael. And I'm like, yeah. Well, at that point, I just had to own it. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. So what? And then, so I'm getting a little bit of shit, from people and, UFC. And then your picture services as well. And it just added to that. You know what I'm saying? It just poured a little gasoline on the bonfire.
Yeah, I get it. And at the end of the day, I probably didn't have just sort of speaking from a media perspective, like what information did I really have? Not a ton, you know. And so there's probably a case to be made. Like if you had better information, then maybe you could use it. But I didn't even have that. The only thing I would say, Michael, is y'all were getting a little bit. I mean, argument or not, it looked like one, and this was right in the front of the Venetian Theater, man. Like this was not in the back.
Nobody's business.
Okay, not in the sense that we've already discussed. I agree. Like, should I have tweeted it? Fuck no, of course not. But that only that one other video appeared to me a little bit miraculous. This was in front of everybody.
Yeah, but that's because everyone said, "Oh, Jesus Christ, he might be having some personal issues there. Stay out of it. It's none of my business." I'm certainly not going to pull out my phone.
I will say, you telling that guy to fuck off was hilarious.
Yeah, but he kept fucking getting in my face. He was driving me crazy. He kept like trying to mediate and getting. I was like, "Fuck off! I don't even know who you are. Please stay out of this." And, you know. But anyway, whatever. You've apologized. You've begged for forgiveness.
I have one question for Luke, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Is there a time? Is there a time, Luke? Because this is the only thing kind of sticks out to me, because it was late at night. You know, you guys were drinking. At that point, I feel like when you're drinking and everyone's just hanging out, everyone's professions are kind of put aside. Like Michael Bisping is kind of just, a dude hanging out at night. You're just a dude kind of hanging out at night. Do you ever kind of stop being an MMA journalist? Is there a time where you say, hey, you know what? Now's not the time to get the scoop or get a story, because we're exposed to a lot of behind the scenes shit that we literally sometimes can't talk about, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is, again, so in this particular context, I think the original argument that Mike made about professional courtesy is the correct one. But let's say I didn't have that, right? Let's say that wasn't the case. Should I have done it in that case either? And that sort of goes back to the other argument I made, like I didn't have a ton of information. I mean, look, I think in a situation like that, it's just from my perspective, first of all, that's not really the work I do. Like I don't break a lot of scoops like that. More of my work is analysis and sort of sitting down with people and digging out information over long conversation. I'm not really a breaking news kind of guy. If I had no relationship whatsoever, probably not in this case either. But let me give you an example. What if a fist fight had broken out on the floor, not between Michael, but let's just say two other fighters? Am I supposed to keep quiet about that? Like, it really sort of calls upon when is something newsworthy enough. And in this context, as we've been over, this one maybe doesn't qualify. But there could be other circumstances in a situation like this where it might. You really just sort of have to lean on individual judgment and what really amounts to something being newsworthy. Right. That this one didn't make it, I think, seems fine, but there can be other cases.
But let me put this to you, though. In your line of work, Luke, and you are a journalist, and you want to establish, and regardless of whatever line of journalism you're in, whether it be sports, whether it be entertainment, whatever, you want to establish relationships with the people within that sport or that genre or that entertainment. And if one guy, a journalist, is doing this, then you're burning bridges. You know, if you're known to be that guy, people are going to be very, very guarded around you. They're not going to come on your shows. They're not going to give you interviews. They're certainly not going to have drinks with you at award shows. You know, so really all you're doing is hurting yourself. Sounds like something your mum would say, but it's true. It's true. That is true. It is true.
It's definitely true in this case. But let me just say something, and I'll let you guys go. I know you got a show to do, and I appreciate you having me on, especially to grovel. In this particular case,
you haven't done it hard enough.
I know. In this case, I think you're probably right. But like, you know, if I had like a real news scoop, I don't know, something like GSP is a coke dealer on the side. I'm just inventing something insane, right?
No, listen, GSP is a coke dealer on the side.
Quote Luke Thomas on the Twitter right now.
Josh, put that on SoundCloud. GSP is a coke dealer on the side. I knew there was a reason why he talks so funny. His nose is always blocked.
Yeah, I'd be talking to aliens too if I was doing that much blow.
I am positing an imaginary scenario, but here's the point. Imagine you had some really, and not merely a big scoop, but maybe an important one for the sport, something really, really heavily of consequence, and you had to burn bridges to publish it. I'm not above that, but this is not that. This is so far removed from that it doesn't even qualify.
Yeah.
No, and at the end of the day, Luke, I feel that we've all spent too much time talking about this. So I appreciate you calling in. All good, no big deal. Everyone, check out the Luke Thomas Show. Does a great job. Luke, thanks for calling in. All the best.
All right.
Get the hell off my airwaves.
Now go fight Yoel Romero. Bye.
Beautiful. All right.
Countdown with Michael Bisping and Luis J. Gomez. Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on your home for mixed martial arts. SiriusXM Rush 93 and the SiriusXM app.